If you are having a hard time convincing your mom to let you keep a dog, then you might want to show her this video. In today's video, we will be going over 10 times dogs prove to be man's best friend. Number 10. The Hero. The first story on our list is sad, since the precious Doberman Pinscher dies a heroic death. This pooch was one of a kind. In July 2016, the owner's family slept safely tucked in their beds. Little did they know that 4 cobras outside were approaching their residence, looking to grab their prey for the night. Luckily, they did not have to deal with them. Their on-guard Pinscher quickly caught sight of them, and being the diligent dog he was, he did not let those snakes get past him. He fought them. However, these were not ordinary snakes. The Kapur village in the Gajapati region of Oshita, East India, is home to deadly mountain snakes. Unfortunately, these were the snakes that emerged from the shadows that night. The Doberman may have succeeded in fighting them off and protecting the family, but he couldn't stand the venom-laced wounds. He eventually passed away, but not without a proper funeral. People from all over the village came to rest flowers on his grave. Number 9. Your hospital buddy. Everyone's worst nightmare is probably fainting when going out for a walk alone. I mean, who calls the ambulance? Who rides with you in the ambulance? Will someone stay by your side? Luckily, this woman in the Heilongjiang province did not have to worry about all of that, since she had her golden retriever by her side. While out on a walk with her dog, the lady ended up losing consciousness. Of course, her dog did not call the ambulance. That's not the story here. She fainted in a high-traffic area, so a passerby probably did that. But what did the retriever do? Well, the most important job only, it provided comfort to its owner. The retriever stayed by its owner's side, even when the EMTs arrived. It would occasionally stroke her arm, too. The EMTs found it difficult to separate the two, so they let it tag along with them on the trip to the hospital in northeast China, and even let it wait outside the treatment room. Luckily, the woman was all right. We can all bet she was happy to find someone waiting for her. Number 8. The Goodest Boy. In southwest China, one faithful dog, Jiang Chang, dropped his owner off dutifully every morning at 8 at a train station in Chongqing. After seeing him off, he then nestles himself into a corner and waits for him to get back. Chang Zheng is one well-behaved doggo, because all it does is mind its own business all day. Finally, when the owner returns 12 hours later, Chang couldn't be more excited. We can feel the happiness vibrating off him with the way he wags his tail. Considering the two have been together for 8 years now, the strong attachment doesn't surprise us. When Chang's story went viral on the internet, people could not help but stop cooing over him. Number 7. The Protector. You probably have a story from your childhood where you get lost and spend hours crying your eyes out. Well, if you remember that feeling, then it wouldn't be wrong to assume you would have liked someone to keep you company during those hours. It would have made everything less miserable. Luckily, 3-year-old Remy Elliott had her best bud, Heath, a young Yorkshire Terrier, by her side when she got lost for over 12 hours. One fine afternoon, the little girl wandered off from her backyard to a nearby cornfield. Luckily, Heath accompanied her. Her mother had discovered that Remy had been missing at 8 p.m. that night, and when she did, all hell broke loose. Search parties were sent out that comprised 100 volunteers and 2 helicopters. Everyone was wondering if she was okay. You can imagine the relief on everyone's faces when they discovered her sleeping with Heath to keep her warm at her side. Number 6. Best Walking Buddy. If you're worried that you won't have anyone to walk with you when you turn 80, then might we suggest you buy a Dachshund, because that seems to be working out just fine for this old guy. Judging from the cane, the hunched over back, and the low pace, the elderly man has got to be well over 70. At the pace he is walking, it wouldn't have taken long for us to reach the end of our patience. However, we see an adorable Dachshund at his feet who doesn't seem to mind the slow pace at all. In fact, he seems rather happy keeping his master company. Usually, dogs would tug at their ropes and sprint around, but this one walks step in step with his aged owner. He also seems to take great care not to trip him over. Number 5. The Protector 2. Most of us would find looking after our drunken best friends a huge chore. Or if you are on the receiving end of help in such a situation, then you wouldn't hear the end of all their long lectures. However, this one lucky fella in Colombia did not have to deal with such problems. Passed out in the middle of the street in an alcohol-induced coma, this little dude ought to have thought misery as his best friend. Luckily, he had another, his loyal canine, who guarded him while he was unconscious. No pickpocket could dream of getting past this loyal pooch, as he would bark them off. Number 4. Quick to act. There is something about dogs and taking care of their unconscious owners. It's like they just know. Maureen was for sure lucky to have Labrador Retriever Bella and Saeed by her side when she suffered a stroke. As you all know, that strokes are time-sensitive and require treatment fast if you want a chance to live. So, when one unlucky afternoon, Maureen suffered a stroke and only had her dogs in the house, you would expect things to go south for her fast. But that's not what happened. The two dogs jumped into action fast by bringing their neighbor, Alexandra Nespolini, with all the racket they made. Alexandra quickly called paramedics, who took her to the right doctors. Thanks to her very loyal dogs, all was well for Maureen 3 days later. Number 3. The Cemetery Dog. If this photo of a dog snuggled up under the headstone of his dead owner doesn't make your heart bleed, then you might need a trip to the doctor. The internet was reeling with pain for the grief-stricken canine. However, one woman visited the cemetery and heard that there was a different picture altogether. Not only was the dog grieving, but she was also guarding her little pup. Venza quickly took the family in and nursed them back to health. Number 2. 4 legs. 80-year-old Fu in Winshu, Xizang province, seems to be the luckiest man on the planet. Though he has no legs and is out begging on the street, his canine friend more than makes up for the lack of legs in the friendship. Without any legs, Fu has to rely on his dog for mobility. The loyal pooch pushed a contraption of 2 wheels where Fu sits on the axle. Though humans may have been of little help to Fu, his canine friend has ensured his 4 legs have been enough to carry them both for years. Number 1. Forever Waiting. There is nothing more devastating for a dog than to lose his beloved master. It seems like they can't make sense of loss. At least, this one in Nefpaktos, Greece couldn't after his owner died in a car crash. The grief-stricken dog seemed unable to move on. He kept visiting the crash site to the point that the villagers built him a makeshift shrine and a place for him to rest. From what seems to be, this canine won't be moving on anytime soon. Alright guys, that's it for today's video. We hope you enjoyed the video. Be sure to hit that subscribe button and we'll be back soon with another video.